and welcome to Week 3 TFL Weekly Report. I'm your commissioner. We're live. It's Thursday night, start of Week 3 football. We're here at the TFL studios. We're ready to get it started. We're just a few hours away of the Thursday night game between the Washington Redskins and the New York Giants. Great Thursday night rivalry game, NFC East Conference. So if you got any players in that game, be sure to check them out before game time starts if you're starting them or benching them. But let's get into the report. We've got a lot to discuss. Unfortunately, Johnny Cash and the professor, I gave them the week off this week. They've been putting in work in the off season and countless hours during the first 2 weeks just to bring you guys updates. So I did give them a little downtime this week, so you won't be hearing from them. It's all the commissioner this week. But we'll get into a recap of week 1, see who won, see who lost, see who's starting out the season pretty good and starting out the season a little slow. We'll also talk about the big trade that occurred last week. I know some of you guys saw that between the Wildcats and franchise, essentially trading their whole teams to each other. Talk a little bit about the injury bug. It's a hidden few teams, few key players have been injured in the past couple weeks and have gone down for a little bit more than some time. So we'll talk about that. I'll also touch base on the weekly winners. We've got 2 winners thus far that Johnny Cash informed me of. So we'll get you guys paid out as soon as we can. And we'll go through the new format of the TFL Power Rankings. I know that's a big fan favorite here in TFL Studios. So let's go. Let's recap. Let's see what happened the past 2 weeks. So we've got 3 2-0 teams. We've got 3 0-2 teams, and obviously the rest are 1-1 fighting for some supremacy. But the 2-0 teams, EA Sports, looking good this year. I think the biggest pickup for him so far was D'Angelo Williams with the Le'Veon Bell pickup. I think you had to do that and get D'Angelo on the roster to start the first 2 weeks. We'll see how that plays out moving forward. If they're going to share carries or it's going to be all Le'Veon, which would be good either way for him. And then we got the Rook 2-0. This guy seems like he's always there, always has a good tight end. He got Gronk this year with Antonio Brown, so those 2 guys are big for him. We'll see if he can continue. I anticipate he'll make another deep playoff run like he does every year. Then we got the Murder Squad, the newcomer. He came back to the league, but he's a newcomer this year, starting out 2-0. You know, he's got AP on the squad and Tom Brady, so getting a lot of good points from high-end players right there. On the other side of the spectrum, we've got a few 0-2 teams. Start off with You Just Got Mossed. Didn't make the playoffs last year. Not looking so good at the start of this year. Gonna need to switch things up, get it together. Maybe start picking up free agents, start doing a little bit of transaction trading. I don't know. It's something that you don't normally do. So fucking legit. 0-2. I know you got a few players on your team that were injured. You weren't at the draft for a couple picks. That might be a culprit, but you need to get this going. Can't go 0-3. 0-4 is essentially playoff death. So the next team, another one team I want to highlight, franchise. 2-time Super Bowl winner, last year's champ, starting out 0-2. We know what this guy can do if you let him in the playoffs. My advice for teams out there, don't let him get hot. And if he gets hot in the season, watch out. With that said, I'd like to talk to you about the big trade between franchise and Wildcats. So, didn't get vetoed. We didn't have any veto votes. The commissioner does think it was a legit trade. Starting off with who the Wildcats got from franchise. And I think this was initiated by franchise just for his quarterback need and what he saw in Philip Rivers and not in Stafford. So, Wildcats got Doug Martin, Alfred Morris, Philip Rivers, and Roddy White. That's who they were getting. Franchise sent Lynch, Stafford, James Jones, and Fred Jackson to the Wildcats. So, let me reiterate. I think franchise wanted Rivers and let go of Lynch for that. I think those were the 2 kind of equal counterparts in this trade. Obviously, he got a starter in Alfred Morris and sometimes Doug Martin. I don't think that's going to make up for Lynch, but Philip Rivers is obviously a great quarterback, and I think he's a step above Stafford. Roddy White, I think he's just a piece of the puzzle, got thrown in there, as well as Fred Jackson. Obviously, it's Lynch's backup and handcuff him. James Jones is kind of that key factor. He could be big, he could not. I think he's a weekly start for Wildcats, but if I had to side with someone, it'd be the Wildcats just because they already have a quarterback. They were able to give up someone they're not necessarily using for a starter in Lynch and James Jones. So I think both teams came out with good, but Wildcats got a slight edge. So that was the big trade for the first 2 weeks of the season. I'm sure more will come. Again, those are $5 transactions, no limit on the players. I'm getting word we need to take a break. Here's a word from our sponsor. It's the Commish TFL Studios. Week 3. We'll be right back.
I still don't get it.
Get what, Marcus?
All of it, man. We all live here? Seriously? Rob, I thought you lived in Virginia. Coach, aren't you supposed to be in South Carolina? Those Nissans outside, when we drive them, they don't get dirty. And all this food. Who put this ham here? I didn't put it here. Did you? Ooh, ice cream.
Ice cream, ice cream. That was a close one. Ice cream for Heisman's.
Okay, welcome back. It's week 3. We are just a few hours away from the matchup between the Washington Redskins and the New York Giants. It's Thursday Night Football, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we've talked about the big trade. We recapped week 1 and week 2, winners, losers, and everything in between. I like to touch upon the injury bug. A lot of players are going down. A lot of big names are going down, and they're going down like flies, not just for a couple weeks, for an extended period of time. Knowingly, players from the Dallas Cowboys, and we've got a team, America's team in our league, who's been hit hard. They are 1-1 right now, but just a few of the players on their team that have got the injury bug that have extended period of absence. Starting with Tony Romo, obviously they're going to need to get a backup for him. He is out for 8+ weeks. And the running back, Eddie Lacy, who just recently went down. We'll see how long his injury is going to last. It seems like a week, maybe 2 weeks. Not sure if it's going to be a lingering one for the season. And Alshon Jeffries. So 3 big names. I think 3 of their number ones are down for America's team right now. So it's going to be a treading water type of game for them. They're going to need to stay above water in order to get these players back and start getting some production. We do actually have some footage of a player on America's team talking about their loss and their starting quarterback, Tony Romo. Let's take a quick look at that.
It's my team. It's my quarterback. And if you guys do that, man, it's unfair.
Okay, I mean, you can see how much a quarterback means to their teammates and to players, you know, getting a little emotional. I think it's going to be all right. It's not like he died or anything, but he'll be back. He'll be back, America's team. Going to have to learn to live with that one for a little bit. I think Tannehill's your backup. Bible, definitely not Romo. Keeping it going, Dez Bryant, another Dallas Cowboy from No One's Perfect, their overall #1 pick. And this guy in No One's Perfect just keeps picking up #1 overall picks that get injured for him. So I think that's a 12+ week type of injury. Not sure if you can keep him on an injury reserve spot in case someone else gets injured and you need that spot, because that is entirely the season essentially. And then with So Fucking Legit, you got Breeze out, you got Ellington out, and you got DeMarco Murray just got an injury in practice. So 3 big names for him right there. I'm not sure how long Breeze is going to be out. Potentially he can play this week, but it's not looking too good. Ellington has been out for a couple weeks, and Murray, we just don't know his stats. But some key injuries, some key players on the injury report list for him, and hopefully he can get a win this week because he needs it. All right, weekly winners. I got word from Mr. Johnny Cash on who won the weekly prizes. As you know, it's $20 per week. Win 5 weeks. You essentially get some of your money back. Core fantasy, you get about 100 back. So gotta win 6 to get most of it back. And week 1, EA Sports putting down a 144.6 effort. Great job on week 1. I think D'Angelo did it for you then, Kelsey. So some good points right there. And week 2, the Rook. He seems like he's always winning weekly awards, putting up 147.6 is the highest total so far between Gronk and Antonio Brown. So $20 for each of you. Congratulations, and we'll keep it going. $20 next week for most overall points. Let's get into the power rankings, the new TFL power rankings. And I'll be right back after that, and we'll close it out. Here we go.
Coming time! Hey, sports. Burn a squad. Zoom in on it. Hey, hide that ball spot, man. Nike sponsors your team, America's team. Dixie Rex.
Restart. We do that again. That's a original.
No one's perfect. Why you look so serious? Architect. Building championship.
You just got lost.
Franchise. 2 times. So fucking legit.
Okay, there you have the Week 3 TFL new power rankings. As I said, we're in Week 3, ladies and gentlemen. If you got anyone for the Washington Redskins, you want to start maybe Alfred Morris, maybe the new guy, Matt Jones, maybe Jordan Reed, not sure. Giants, obviously, you're probably starting Eli. You're definitely starting ODB. Not sure if you're starting anybody else above that, but get your players in. We're a few hours from game time. This is the Predictions Report. I'll see you guys next week.
It's my quarterback.